Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So Georgia beat Auburn last night, 20-10. But let's be honest, man. Auburn got screwed. So if you're not an Auburn fan, if you're a Georgia fan, or you don't think Auburn got screwed, this might not be the video for you. But let's go ahead and talk about it. So Auburn versus Georgia, big time rivalry, very heated rivalry for both schools. And Auburn, the atmosphere was rocking, right? Jordan Hare Stadium going crazy. Fans was excited. Auburn came out, played hard, jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and maintained that lead pretty much all throughout the first quarter for sure, and late into the second quarter, right? And then the first pivotal moment happened, right? So late in the second quarter, Auburn's quarterback tush push, quarterback sneak, what have you, go across the goal line. From with my two eyes, from me looking at it, he definitely broke the plane with the ball, but a Georgia defender punched the ball out, and it was ruled the fumble. Um, should have been a touchdown, should have been 17-0, but it was ruled a fumble. Georgia was able to go down with a little time left and kick a field goal, and that made it 3-10, right? So you know, from a person who is just on the outside looking in, who maybe doesn't understand the pageantry and the drama and all of the things that the emotions of college football, um, they didn't understand what just happened. They didn't understand that like Auburn just got screwed, just got cheated, because with all of that momentum, right? If they would have scored 17-0 gone into halftime, um, Auburn, Hugh Freeze, the fan base, everybody would have been pumped. They would have went into that locker room, fired up, ready to come back out and punch Georgia right back in the mouth like they had been doing all the game so far, right? But nope, they took that away from Auburn and they gave Georgia the momentum. If you watch Hugh Freeze, the Auburn head coach, on the sideline talking when halftime started, before he went into the locker room to address his team, the dude, kudos to him. He was professional, because I would have been on the camera cursing my ass off. He was professional, right? And he admitted to, he's like, I just wish, hopefully we can get some calls to go our way, right? And then he said, he looked back at the goal line and he says, how was that not a touchdown? The ball just has to break the plane. How is that not a touchdown? You know, and so I think right there that completely changed um the fan base, and that changed the team, that took it out of them. You know, college football momentum and emotions, right, on these kids, right? These are kids. Some of them are probably close to millionaires or probably millionaires that getting a lot of money in NIL, but they're still kids. I'm 39 years old, and emotions take a emotional swings take a toll on me. Just imagine what it's doing to a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old, right? It takes a lot out of you, right? And so they come out after halftime, and they're just flat. They're just flat. Georgia defense is dominating. Auburn's offense is not doing very much. I think that I believe that Georgia held Auburn to like 50 yards in the second half or something like that. But then the game is still, the game is still, within grasp for Auburn if they can wake back up. You know what I mean? But then in the fourth quarter, um, um, Kirby Smart. Well, obviously if you watch the game, you know what happened. But if you didn't watch the game, it's 3rd and 9, and the quarterback from Georgia is trying to get the snap, right, and the center is not snapping the ball. He's back there just clapping and all, saying, "Hey man, give me the ball," right? Because the play clock is like has 1 second left, and Kirby Smart goes sprinting down the sideline, signaling for a timeout, right? And he got that. As soon as he got it, he starts saying, "No, no, no! I wasn't trying to get a timeout. I was just trying to I was saying clapping, I wasn't trying to get a timeout, right?" And then the referee said, "Cool, no timeout, but." You no timeout, right? We taking the time, we picking it up. You didn't call a timeout, but yeah, go ahead and run another play. That's bullshit, right? You even seen the ESPN commentators saying what, pretty much saying what the hell, what's going on? Because they either should have been charged a timeout, so Georgia would have never got the delay of game penalty, and they lose a timeout, or they should have said, "Hey, well, guess what? You didn't call a timeout. That should have been a penalty from him, even from gesturing a timeout and then saying that it wasn't a timeout. Should have been a to me, I think that should have been unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Kirby Smart. But they should have said, okay, well, guess what? We picking up that we're saying, okay, you didn't call a timeout, but guess what you got? You got a delay a game penalty because you wasn't going to get that ball off with the 1 second left, so you got a delay a game penalty and go ahead and figure out what you're gonna do. You're gonna go for it on fourth down still. Now that you got to move back, or you just gonna punt the ball to Auburn? But that didn't happen. They was able to go for another play, and they didn't lose their timeout. Now, thankfully, they didn't pick up the fourth down. But imagine if they would have scored on that play, right? Imagine if they would have scored on that play. And so, they didn't score, but they ultimately went on to win the game. I just think that Auburn had no more fight in them, right? The fan base had no more fight in them. They was just screwed. The air had been taken out of them right before halftime when they theoretically should have been up 17-0, and Georgia was allowed to punch the ball out and get the ball and recover and go downfield and score 3, right? And so I just think that the fan base and the team, they ain't have no more fight left in them. It was just they was just gutted. But this isn't the first time that the SEC officiating crew has dropped the ball this season. They screwed Auburn versus Oklahoma. If you watch that game, Oklahoma had a player that looked like he was gonna go to the sideline, and he stopped just short of the sideline, and then Oklahoma was able to score on that play. That was trickery. That was that it was meant to be a trick call, but that's against the rule. That's against the rule books. Like you can't like trickery your way with substitution and all of that stuff to a score, right? Just look it up. That's illegal. The referee should have called Oklahoma on that, but they didn't. And then we saw the SEC officiating crew screw over LSU. Barry Brown had a touchdown, and they said that wasn't a touchdown. They took it back from him, right? So they've been although LSU won that game, they've been real weird. They've been real controversial in some of their calls all season. And Greg Sankey, the SEC Greg Sankey, the SEC president, right? The president of the SEC, right? The commissioner of the SEC, he needs to do something about this. He needs to do something about it. Because something has to happen. It's bullshit, right? And if you rewind to halftime, you saw Auburn's athletic director down on the field with Hugh Freeze giving the head referee some work, because I guarantee you he lost it because he also made a comment about how Auburn was again screwed versus Oklahoma. So a few weeks ago we get screwed versus Oklahoma, and the SEC officiating crew or the commission came out and issued a statement, right? Okay, cool, we got screwed. We can't. I'm pissed off, but I'm gonna let it go. Now we get screwed again versus Georgia, which pretty much resulted in us losing the game. So of course you're gonna see him lose his professionalism and go down and be on the sideline walking the referee to the tunnel, giving him a piece of his mind, because he's fighting for his team, he's fighting for the university, he's fighting for the sports program, right? He's fighting for it's on behalf of Hugh Freeze. With Hugh Freeze, they're fighting because it's BS. So Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, has to figure this out. He has to get these officials in line and say, hey man, y'all need to tighten it up. Whatever y'all need to do, y'all need to tighten it up, because it's bullshit. Because his SEC officiating crew is gonna have to go outside of the conference and referee other games during the playoff games. And imagine if they make some bonehead calls for an SEC team or against an SEC team or what have you. But it's not a just call. It's not a right call. It seems like a very suspect call. It's gonna cause all type of firestorms. So You saw Hugh Freeze criticize the officiating during halftime. You saw him criticize the referees, after the game. And the only thing that they're probably going to do is come out and just issue some type of memorandum and say that they're sorry. Sorry, it's not going to get Auburn, a W in the win column, because y'all screwed it up for them. So it's Auburn got robbed. It's bullshit. I'm not even an Auburn fan. I'm an LSU fan, but Auburn got screwed. It is what it is. But Auburn fans, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you're not an Auburn fan and you want to comment, obviously you still can. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate everyone who has already subscribed to the channel. Y'all helped your ball out. I got to over 800 subscribers, so I appreciate it. Let's keep the momentum going on. Let's keep the momentum going. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit that like button, hit that bell notification button so you can stay up to date on all the latest drops. And until next time, I'm out.